of the 1987 Tony Award for Best Play and Pulitzer Prize for Drama opens on the Lottery stage at Theatre Memphis, January 19th, and runs through February 4th, 2018. Set in 1950, the evolving African-American experience is explored through the eyes of a former star of a Negro League who was excluded from the Major League during his prime. Now, as a garbage man, the bitterness takes its toll on his relationships as his son wants his own chance in the big league. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Black Bonafide Media TV. My name is MaryAnn Washington. I am your host today. We are at Theatre Memphis with the cast of Fences, and I am going to let them introduce themselves. So,
hello. Hi. My name is Willis Green, and I play the character of Troy Maxson.
Hi, my name is Mario Hoyle, and I play the character of Cory Maxson.
Hello, my name is Michael Claybourne, and I play the character Lyons.
Yay! Welcome to Memphis Actors Talking About, guys. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm so excited. Are you guys excited?
Yes, pretty excited.
Wow. So let's just jump right into this, Willis. Fences, first of all, congratulations on the role.
Thank you.
And I was telling Willis that about maybe 10, 11 years ago, we were at church, and we was talking about your talent, and we was talking about this moment right here. So how do you feel with this, taking on this character?
Well, I remember that moment, and just blessed. You know, I feel like I'm living a dream.
Yes.
And working with this talented cast, with these guys right here, and the director. Even in rehearsal, sometimes I feel like I'm dreaming.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful and thankful to be doing this. It's real.
It is so real because we love theater so much and we love acting so much. And this is a great, great role playing this character. So let's talk about the significance of the title Fences as it relates to your character and the theme of the play. Just tell us about what does that mean, that fence?
Yes.
For Troy?
Okay, well, in the introduction, you were talking about how you said the word bitterness.
Yeah.
And he was a star in the Negro Leagues.
Yes.
Well, fences, we know, are used to keep people out or to keep people in.
Right.
In fact, in the play, the character Bono says some people build fences to keep people out.
Right.
And some to keep people in. Well, I think even in society, there are fences, especially the play is set in the 50s.
Right.
So we're talking about segregation.
Yeah.
You know, let's separate a barrier, a boundary. Let's say, okay, you can be on that side, but not on this side. And so for Troy, as a baseball player, he has so much potential and was not able to really reach or live his destiny because the major leagues would not accept him. So there was a fence there, you know, and I think he was hurt. And that, you know, that saying, hurt people.
Right.
And sometimes we then build a fence to protect ourselves.
Right.
And I think he then builds fences in his life. He wants to protect his son, Cory. So he kind of tries to shield and protect him from the same hurt. His son is, you know, interested in sports as well. So for me, it just sort of shows how fences can be used to protect us, but how sometimes they can be used to hurt.
To keep him out. And so how, Cory, tell us a little bit about your character. First of all, just tell us a little bit about your career here in Memphis and what all you have done and your acting experience and how is this being cast in this role? How has it affected you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I moved back to Memphis about 2 years ago. I just graduated from college at University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. And just moving back and just kind of diving myself into theater here in Memphis. The community is absolutely amazing and welcoming. But you know, my first show was at Hattiloo Theater. I did Mr. Ricky Calls a Meeting. And from there, I knew that, you know, the theater in Memphis was going to be it's going to be a home for me. and just this is fences. I've studied fences since I was in high school. I mean, it's one of my favorite plays by August Wilson. Is one of my favorite plays in general. And just when I heard about the opportunity to audition for this play, I jumped at it immediately.
Wow.
And coming and becoming this character Cory, it's been like Willis said, it's been a blessing. It's been a dream come true. Coming into rehearsal and I'm dreaming. I feel like I'm dreaming sometimes,
Yeah.
But just coming into having these pre-existing. I've studied this play for so long, and coming in and I feel like I've learned something new every day. Every hour, every second, and it's that's the beauty of a beautiful playwright, and that's the beauty of a great cast, and that's the beauty of just beautiful literature.
So how do you feel as far as your character Cory and your relationship with your father? Do you see the fence?
Yes. Yeah, I think that the term pushing people out. I feel like Cory in a way wants to get so close to his dad, but there's sometimes when Troy pushes him away, and there's in this production that we do, you see that a lot.
You see the struggle between
the struggle,
of a father and the son.
Yeah. And this young son, this young lion, as our director says sometimes.
Yeah.
This young lion wants to roar, and the old lion, the lion before him doesn't want that, in a sense, and he wants to keep him caged, and so.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So.
But Cory, there's a time difference in the play. So we see how August Wilson the significance of the time. We see the old lion and we see the new lion. Of course, we see with Troy, the race relation that kept him out, and then we see your struggle with it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that, and I think our first interaction, there's this kind of pre-existing notion that Troy has. It's like, I don't want you to be in the sports because of how they treated me.
Right.
And Cory is like that. That's it's not like that anymore, Dad. Like, this is a great opportunity for me. Why don't you see it?
Right.
And so you see that struggle. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have another son.
Yeah, me, Lyons. And I was just thinking when you were saying, if he's the big lion and you're the little lion, what kind of lion? So I'm thinking, I guess, the only thing I can think of, maybe he's like the kind of lazy artist lion. Who's kind of in between.
Tell us about it.
Lyons, the character of Lyons is, he's Troy's son from a previous marriage, his first marriage. But eventually, something happens to Troy. He's not able to be present for Lyons, and Troy does not enter Lyons' life again until he's about 15, 16. And by that time, and we're talking about in the 1950s, he's practically a man, probably doing everything but certain things. So when we talk about, you guys were talking about fences for each other, for Lyons, I was thinking about, here we have a character who is not afraid to jump into the fence, who's not afraid to hop over that fence and try to get to know his father.
Wow,
which
good.
is because what we'll see in the play is Lyons comes back over and over again, despite the fact that he knows he has an absentee father, that his father was not present for him. And he's not afraid to jump in there and say, hey, I need this from you. I want this from you. I want that from you. But we also know that he's also like his own individual man, his own individual person. So, he won't respond to anything the same way that Cory will respond. Lyons will respond in a way that's more like dismissive, like, okay, it was great seeing you. I love you. Now I got to go.
Wow.
And also it also made me think of the fact that he's probably the only character who kind of has that choice, who can choose which fences he can hop over. And my character, well, I guess at some point all characters do, but it just made me think about all the times he has to walk through the fence to come see his father, and then he has to leave and not come back for a certain amount of time.
So playing this role, what is your experience like, and what is your background in theater here in Memphis?
Well, my background in terms of theater, I graduated from Howard University, and I got my degree from there in theater arts, and I also trained at the School of Steppenwolf and a Midsummer at Oxford at BADA. In terms of Memphis specifically, when I was younger, I did some children's theater, but I'm just now kind of returning to Memphis and jumping back into the groove of things. I just did my first, I guess, professional play here in Memphis about a couple months ago at Hattie Lou Theater, where I did Ruined. And so this is my second play in Memphis and as an adult, but also my first opportunity to do August Wilson's work, having been exposed to it for so long. This is it's a great honor. I'm sure everybody feels that way. It's a great honor to be able to finally dig into it for myself and not just, watch the big boys play, and now get to be a big boy who gets to actually participate as well. And yeah, my experience in terms of playing the character Lyons for the show has been amazing. It's been great. There's been so many times where I thought, like you mentioned, there's so many times I thought I knew what I was doing. I thought I knew what this character was. And, I've seen the play, read the play, bought, like they say, read the movie, bought the book, seen the movie 2 times, that whole thing. Yeah. And so coming into it and seeing, thinking that I knew what was going on, and much hats off to the director and everybody else that I get to work with. I think it's really allowed us to come up with our very own unique version of Fences that stays very, very true to the core of the story. But we're really pulling some things out of it that you may not have ever seen or noticed before.
Well, we all are looking forward to seeing this show, but and also we talked a little bit about the race relationships. Let's talk about that. This was set in 1950. How has the race relationships changed now? We're 2018. How has it changed over the course since it was back then for African Americans and the opportunities that we have?
Starting with me.
Starting with you.
Okay. Well, I mean, of course, a lot of ways.
Yes,
you talk about the 1950s and how the social winds of change had not begun to change when this play takes place.
Right. So we can see a little bit of Troy's frustration when he comes to and saying, "I want to go off. I want to leave. I want to go play for the big league."
And then after that, you have civil rights, and so many things changed after Troy's time. And so, I mean, today. I don't know if I'm really answering. It's so much. I mean, that's a big question. Yeah. We had a first African-American president.
First African-American president. We have an African-American theater here in Memphis. Yeah. So much has changed, over the course of the years. Let me ask you a question. How has this play affected you as a father with your own sons? I'm not sure if you guys have children or not, but how does this affect your relationship with your father? Do you look at it differently?
I do. Actually, when I was reading the play during rehearsal, it just helped me to sort of understand him. I have a good relationship with him, but seeing how Troy, sometimes Cory maybe misunderstands Troy, how we as people can misunderstand our parents because they're a different generation.
Right, different generation.
What they may call tough love, we may see as being mean and being, just not being right.
Right.
But from reading this play and being in this play, it's just helped me to understand how love can be.
How it can be tough sometimes.
Yes. And so, I mean, I just have a better appreciation for my father now. I feel like I understand him better.
Yeah.
From this.
What about you?
Yeah. I think one word that comes to mind for me is forgiveness. And I think that during this kind of like this process, as well as like learning, like, reading this play over again and being able to, relate to Cory. I think that there is a sense of forgiveness at the end. I think that there's, a sense of, that's how it was for Troy. Even though you have all these, this anger and all this, this rage towards this man, you have to forgive him because he is a human being. So yeah.
I can't say it better than they've already said it. I think for me, it helped me to see my father in a new light. And I also kind of viewed my father as, I think in the African American community, there can be this narrative that fathers have to be hard, tough, almost like drill sergeants in a way. And I think doing this play helped me to see how some of that came to be. Now, my own father, I was not a Troy Maxson. I would see him more so as like a Cory, or like just a product of that. But my grandfather is like Troy Maxson to the T, and I can see. Sometimes I see some parts in the play, and I'm thinking about my own grandfather, like, whoo, wow, yeah. I've seen that happen before. I've seen it, as recently as I've been alive. So, it helps me to see how we can gather around and we can still love these men, because we know that within our community there's some things, some racial injustices that keep them from being who they really are, who they could be. Yeah.
We're just going to piggyback on a question I had asked you before about how things have changed as far as race relations. And I don't know, somebody was talking about, Mario.
Yeah. I think, things have opened up a lot for the African American community in sports. I mean, you see the NBA, the NFL, MLB as well, like as baseball. There's a lot of more opportunities for the African American male or female, and also in that there's a lot of I believe microaggressions. I believe that there's also I believe that there's
everyday microaggressions.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of stereotypes to black men only wanting to go to become an athlete, and I think that it's went from not letting the black man or woman play a sport to now letting them, that's the only thing they do, and we're gonna feed off of them, or we're gonna that's going to be our own income. We're going to capitalize on that. So, yeah.
And you see just last year, the kneeling of the NFL players, and they were making a statement because there is still some, just like you said, opportunities for us, major opportunities, but there's still just a little bit who have not accepted the change. Yeah. Thank God for the opportunities that we have today. But with the kneeling of the NFL players, they're making a statement to say, hey, it's still some injustice done that's out there. There's still some, just like you said, stereotypes out there. So let's talk about Rose a little bit. Jessica J. Johnson is playing the lead, the character of Rose. She couldn't be here today. I think this is her birthday weekend, so happy birthday, Jessica.
Happy birthday, Jessica.
What is the relationship with Rose and Troy? And he cheated on her with Alberta.
Just gonna come out there.
I'm just gonna come out there and say it like that. Yes. So why? Yes. Why do you think he cheated on her? Why didn't he just make it right with Rose? Why do you think he?
I think Troy settled. There's a line in the play where he says, I was safe. In terms of talking about baseball, he wanted to go far as playing baseball and be successful in the major leagues, but he didn't have that chance.
Right.
I think he had a dream inside of him that kind of didn't get fulfilled. And so with Rose, he had gotten out of jail. And I think he was like, well, I can't be successful with baseball. So at least I'm just gonna find me a woman.
Okay.
I'm gonna get me a good woman.
Okay.
We're gonna have me a child. Have us a child, and we're gonna. I'm going to just kind of be safe. He actually says, I'm not going back to jail. I'm not just going to lay in the streets and be a bum. So for him, Rose, I think, he loves Rose, but because he was not successful as he wanted to be in baseball,
he's just making an excuse. And because this is an African American experience, okay, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that a man can really cheat on his wife and still love both women? I mean, is that possible?
I think for him, it was. I think for him it was, not for me.
Great answer.
It's a different time.
It's a different time.
I'm a different generation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for Troy, okay.
Yeah, and so I just think he was with her for 18 years, and he really tried to be a good husband, but I think he always wanted more out of life.
Yeah.
And when he saw that Alberta gal, she represented the good life that he never got, that dream that he never got. And instead of turning to his wife and holding on to her and experiencing that dream together, he went outside of the home.
Yes, he did.
And he really believed that was good for him.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay.
I feel like I'm in some hot water or something.
You're not. I was just, this just is August Wilson. This is, a part of like I said, his big experience, and we see it, and we see it all the time.
Right.
But let's move on here.
No.
So is the play relevant today, guys? Do you think it's relevant today?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that everything that is a part of this play is a part of our lives now. I mean, there's still a lot of just if you look at the situation they were living in, how they were living, the lines about the creditor coming to the door. Yeah. That's in poor Black America. That's still going on. Like they're not knocking on the door, but they're calling you saying, "Hey, you need this, we need that," And so that reference is still alive today, and it's still a problem today. But I mean, just all the things, the infidelity. I think that's also an issue with the Black man experience, the Black father experience. So you get this wife and son to be safe, and then you see something else, this other opportunity, and you want to grasp at it. So yeah.
Now, how are you two? What are the similarities between the brothers?
Between the brothers? I feel like I almost feel like in terms of brothers, they're almost night and day. And I don't think that they're entirely very similar. I think Lyons is the artist. He's a jazz musician. He's the artist brother who's out trying to make things happen, but he doesn't have much discipline. He's more like a la-di-da, like I come and I go, and I'm living by the seat of my pants, and I'm just doing the best that I can. And I think Cory has the makings of really going beyond the circumstances of living in Pittsburgh, going beyond that, using sports as an opportunity to kind of get out and to go to college and to really make something of his life in a more traditional sense. And in that way, I think he's almost identical. In that specific way, he's almost identical to Troy. But I don't think that in terms of each other that they're very similar at all. I have to really think about that one though.
Yeah, that's a really good question because we only have 2 scenes with each other. Right. And I think the only thing that is really similar is our ambition. But I feel like our ambition went in 2 different ways, And I think that Troy caught me before I became you, if that makes sense, you know? And I think that we're similar in that ambition, but in different ways and different times. That when did our father intervene, kind of thing. So,
and that's a good point too. Like, I definitely think that Lyons is what happens when your father is not there for those formative years, and Cory is what happens when your father is there for those formative years.
That is so
and
good.
It's almost like we're not saying that Troy was the best father. You know, he has his issues.
Yeah.
But that difference is, and we see it. We get to see at the end of the play how it affects each of them differently. Where one son ends up and where the other ends up.
Wow. That is beautiful. Now, we know that Denzel Washington played this character on Broadway. And I think he was nominated for, was he nominated for Golden Globe and Academy Award?
Yeah.
And we know that, what's the lady that played her? Viola Davis, she won. I think did she win an Academy or Golden Globe for?
She won an Oscar for it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure, but is there any pressure there, guys? Because they just did the movie. Is there any pressure?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, just the name Denzel Washington on anything, it's like you feel this immense amount of pressure, I think, to live up to that. And also, it's like, for me as an actor, it's to create your own art.
Yes.
And not
Did you see
create.
the movie?
Yeah, I did. I saw the movie, and I saw like the
That was before
little bit of the
you
Broadway.
had the role, right?
Yes. Yeah. So just having being able to like create your own art in the way, and respect August Wilson's play and create your own art.
Not try to copy off nobody.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What about you? What do you?
I don't think there is any pressure. I think for me, and it might be because it was a play first, and I had the opportunity to see it and study it beforehand. And
You saw the play?
I've seen it as a play.
Where did you
probably
see
seen
it?
it twice. Well, when I was in undergrad, I had the opportunity to work with. They did the entire August Wilson Century Cycle at the Kennedy Center, and I was able to work backstage on that and see. Yeah, so. I got to see. I got to see almost all of them.
Did you see King Haile II?
Yes,
I was in King Haile II.
That one's a bomb, but that's the bomb. But so I think.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
it does. It's no pressure to me because I know that every actor is going to bring something new and something different to the character.
Absolutely.
And so, if anybody, you think that you've seen Fences before, this is not the Fences that you saw in the movie. This is not the Fences that you may have saw 10 years ago. It's a different cast. It's different people. They bring different energy. They bring different life experiences to the characters. Yeah. And so, with that being said, I don't think there's any pressure because if you want to see Denzel play the character, then you need to go see Denzel playing it.
You know what? Right? There's two scenes that I want to see. There's two monologues that I love. Of course, the Rose monologue. And she said, "I've been standing here right, Troy." And the monologue between you two. Oh my God! That how is that going? I mean, do you guys work on that a lot?
Yes. It's very emotional. I mean, just that father and son connection, I think that, and, him teaching his son a lesson.
I think you asked him, you don't love me? What was it?
It's, how come you ain't never liked me?
Yeah, how come you ain't never liked me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I forgot about James Earl Jones played it. Yeah. It's awesome. One last question before I let you go. Where would Troy, well, we know where Troy is. Where would you guys be now? Where would your character be now? Where would Cory? What happens to Cory? What you think happened to Cory if you had to write book 2 of Fences?
That's a really great question. I think that all, if it wasn't for Rose at the end, that the monologue, she speaks to Cory about how your father wanted you to be everything he wasn't.
And I just want to say, Rose is a Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
Because she loved him unconditionally.
Yeah.
And that's love.
Absolutely.
That is love.
Yeah.
And that's the type of love that I want to have.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, love you no matter what.
Yeah.
Now I'm praying to God that, you know, he gives me that. He has worked on me a whole lot, but that is love right there, to take somebody's else. And I've seen that.
Right.
You know, have you guys ever seen anything like that?
Absolutely.
You know, I've been there. I raised, you know, a child that wasn't mine. So yeah, I've been Rose. So yeah.
Yeah.
But but that is love. I love her character. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. No, I get that. I agree. I think, just that, like, at that last little push, because if it wasn't for that, I think Cory would not have gotten closure. And so I think that his path wouldn't be where he, in my mind, where he would be. And I think that Cory becomes a father. And I think he treats his kids in this way of love that he doesn't think he got from Troy. And I think that everything that has come from Troy, he takes that and he uses it and becomes his own man.
Do you think Troy was a successful football player and had his own family and was able to tell his sons about his father?
I think Cory. Well, I don't think he becomes a professional football player, but I think he spends more times as a Marine, and he takes all he's learned as a Marine to teach his kids, and it just blossom his generation of kids and grandkids and great grandkids. So yeah.
Well, it's good to know that Cory had peace.
Yeah, I think he gets peace. Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. What about you? What happens if you had to write the book part 2, the continuation of Fences? Where would you see your character?
I think it's not even. I don't even think it's even as interesting. I think Lyons becomes. I think he becomes
Be creative.
I think he becomes a reflection of his father. Because, you know, we see it all the time. No matter how hard people try not to be like their fathers, that's the harder you try not to be, the more you're going to be, just like them. I think he becomes a version of his father that is a little bit better, a little bit wiser, a little bit still very artistic. I think whoever his children, when he has children, I think that he's able to be present for them in a way that Troy was not present for him. And I think he's probably going to be like the most amazing father. He's probably the most amazing father. But I think that he leads a very humble life, and whoever his children are probably some of the most gifted artistic people on the planet, because he knows how to make sure that they have everything that they need and cater to them in that way.
And music playing all throughout the house, probably. So what was it like, guys, in closing, working with Miss Anita Jo Linhart here at Theatre Memphis?
Well, like I said, it was her style. She's so skilled as a director. And I feel like, and I've actually told her this, in rehearsals, I feel like we're dreaming sometimes. It's an approach.
Yeah.
Her approach is so, she's so gracious and safe. And I just can't, I think she's a genius.
If she was here, I'm guarantee you I would learn something. I was hoping that she would be here, but
I can't say enough about her. I'm so thankful
oh my goodness.
To be around her. Yeah, gotten so much from her.
That's amazing. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think there's just when I think of Jo, I think of just
you call her Jo?
Yeah, I call her Jo. I think of just so many different corners, you know, being unfolded on a piece. I just think of just so many things that I've learned, and so many things have been uncovered that I really haven't, like, I look at the play and I'm like, wow, like, and it's just so many small things, and it's like every word means something. It has a different intention,
yes.
you know. And so I think
August Wilson was a great Great writer. I love him. What about you? What is your experience with Joe?
I think she's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think she's a professor here in Memphis, right?
Yeah, she is.
So
Yeah.
I feel there have definitely been times where we've been in rehearsal and I feel like she's taking me back to school. And
Right.
I'm like,
good
I didn't know that. Let me add that. I'm probably not gonna get it this time, but I'm gonna add that to my process. And like, there's been so much to learn, so much that she's amazed me by that she was able to pull out the script.
Right.
And like we talked about earlier, I walked in thinking that I knew what I was doing, that I knew what this character was, that I knew fences, like whatever. But coming into it, she's pulled so many things out of it about father-son's relationships, about relationships with different people, and just about the process of acting in general. It's been an amazing opportunity. Can't wait to hopefully be able to work with her again.
It is truly a blessing to work with a director that really knows the content. I know you worked with Lawrence Blackwell on another August Wilson production, and I had the honor of working lights for Mr. Blackwell at when we did Ma Rainey's Back Bottom at Hattie Lou Theater years ago. And I remember the discussion was always about Mr. Wilson and what he was doing and what he thought and all of that. So, you know, it's always a blessing to work with a director who really knows the playwright and knows the intentions of the playwright. So thank you guys so much. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
Rounding out the staff, we have the director is Miss Anita Jo Linhart is the director. Jasmine Miller is the assistant director. We got Jack Yates, who's working the scene and the props. We have Mr. Germany Fisher, who's doing the lights, and Miss Cindy Trice. Cindy is here. Hey, Cindy is here. And I just want to thank Theatre Memphis for being here, and also thank special thanks to Mr. Randall Hartzarg. He's right over there. Mr. Randall Hartzarg for being so accommodating. And as always, thank you for watching Black Butterfly Media TV. Until next time, we ask you to subscribe to our channel and just be on the lookout because we are in the theater community. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.